Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the live call-in show, Friday, December 17th, 2021. And I hate to come on here and say I told you so, but I said no early bets. I was pleading with people, no early bets, and we saw the schedule shake up. I'll wait till people get in here to fully break it down. Just want to say thank you guys for the Week 15 video, the Week 15 Vegas spreads. You guys have been sharing it like crazy. And like I said, we're at it's a precipice because you see these big companies, these big corporations, they're getting into the betting game and we're still blowing them out of the water. Now, how long does that mean for the YouTube channel? I don't know. Eventually, they'll find a way to delete me and get me out of their way. But until then, we're going to keep riding this wave. We're going to keep taking Vegas's money. And, you know, all the haters, they like yapping when I have one marginal week. Had a marginal week last week. Winning every week pretty much this whole year. So the haters found one marginal week and they were storming last week. Yep, they're all quiet, foot in the mouth, mad at me because we won. We hit 2 teasers and we're 4-1 on bets last week. Let's get this money. Let's keep doing it. Live call-in show. What's up, Paul? What's up, Wade? What's up, Tico? Thanks for coming in the room early. Probably going to go about hour and a half, 2 hours tonight. Really looking forward to the show, and it's going to be really important. I mean, first of all, that schedule completely changed. I was writing down things before the show. Browns had 18 guys test positive. The no-names had 18 dudes test positive as well, and the Rams had 16 test positive. So that's where we're at. That's not a good situation, and you can see how these games were moved. I'm going to just get to the Patreon questions. We'll start off with them, and then I'll get to the questions in the live chat. Cole C, is COVID going to affect the Browns and give the Raiders a win? Now, maybe not, because I think they'll be able to get either Baker Mayfield cleared or Case Keenum cleared. But, man, when they were looking at Nick Mullins on Saturday night, 4:30, everyone in the country watching it wasn't looking good. I was actually thinking about putting the Raiders in as a money pick. But there needed to be a lot of caution this week just with how many players were out. And we're seeing outbreaks all across the league. I mean, so this is definitely a dangerous week. I mean, this is definitely one where you got to put it in Sunday morning. I like putting the bets up on Patreon Friday night. I pride myself in it. It gives you wiggle room. It gives you time to make your own decisions. But, man, I'm probably going to have to put in the bet Saturday night, Sunday morning, really early this week. It's just how it's going. Last year should have prepared us for it. Last year was absolutely crazy. Here we go. Let's get to the Patreon question. Are you changing your Washington football team pick due to COVID? This is from John. I haven't really assessed the situation yet, but I think with them moving this game, let's see where they moved it to. They moved it to Tuesday night. I think that spread will move down a little bit because right now, last I saw, it was at +7, no names on the road. So that was one I didn't even want to touch. But I think it'll move down. So, listen, I think the Eagles win the game. We'll see what the spread is once they make it. Can't really give you a definitive answer because we don't know what the spread's going to be. And we don't know who's going to play. But Heineke has that bad injury. And then Heineke he did test positive this week. So, what's up, Ben? What's up, Luis? What's up, John Daniel? Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know about the Patreon, man. Like, it's going to make you have to pay, like, what you didn't pay before. So, I mean, there's really no way around it. So there's no way around it. They're going to make you pay what they think you owe. I'm not in charge of administrating that. Thank God I'm not. Okay, Harold Dennis Julatin. What can you say about the game later, Chiefs versus Chargers? Oh, okay, I already answered that one. I sent you a message on that. Kraft, easy, Matt Jones. With Urban Meyer fired, do you see the Jags winning some more games? Let's get this money, John. Yeah, Kraft, I was thinking the same thing. And I'm actually excited about the Jags Texans. And I know that's maybe me being a little bit melodramatic, but I think we're going to see a boost in the team. I think we're going to see a boost in Lawrence. Now, am I the biggest Darren Bevel guy in the world? Absolutely not. But obviously, those guys hated Urban Meyer. He was too mean for them. Say what you will. It's why the Jags are where the Jags are. And then once someone is in the United States of America, once someone's vulnerable, people don't hold punches. When people in the United States of America are vulnerable, everyone piles on. A grandma who's never watched a Jacksonville Jaguar game will pile on. People who can't name one player on the Jags are going to pile on. That's just how it is. That's just the society we live in. So I think there's going to be a boost. I don't think it's going to be the boost some people are saying, like people saying, oh, the Jags are finally going to have some coaching. Like, all right, calm down now, calm down. And listen, and Urban can't go out there and catch footballs. And the biggest problem with the team the whole year has been the wide receiving core. And when that happens, after you spend a lot of money on Marvin Jones, after you draft Laviska Shenault, I think in the first round, it's just a bad look. And no one's going to notice Marvin Jones drops. The Urban Meyer stuff's going to sell papers better. And plus, we can all participate in piling on him and taking shots while he's down. That's what a lot of people like to do. And and that's one reason why I'm happy I don't have to work for a newspaper or anything. Like, just the pollen on top of people once they're down. Everyone waits till they're on the way down. Then they start landing the shots. They don't do it when someone's at a high. Say what you will about me. Like, at least I poked holes at Bill Belichick when he was at the top of his game. Super chat from Debo. Appreciate it, Debo. Money, money, money. Hey, John, what are your top 3 picks, whether that's over, under, or spread picks? I mean, they're going to be on Patreon. Honestly, Debo, I haven't. Just send me a message on Instagram since you sent me a super chat. Just write your username. I'll send you them. Honestly, this whole week's been in flux. So there's games I like, of course. I don't want to dodge your question, though. So just send me a message on Instagram. I'll probably be posting the picks on Patreon Saturday sometime. Just due to all the injuries. And I gave a forewarning this whole week. Here we go. Someone's asking about my payouts. I bet spreads, man. So I bet single games. So normally I bet like 200, 300 a game, never shied away from that. If we're talking teasers, depends. Like on the teaser last week, I put up 300 on the 3-team teaser on Patreon that we hit. So it goes that way. The teasers do get complicated, though, because some teams don't show up. So sometimes I'll put only 50 on them. Here we go. Let's get to the next question on Patreon. I appreciate you guys, and smash that like button. Joe at Gino. Any chance you see the Bears upsetting Minnesota? Unfortunately, I do. Now, let's take a look at that spread real quick, because I think I saw it shoot up a point today. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Dude, Caesars has Minnesota at Chicago -6. For me, that's way too many points. I actually think Minnesota's going to win the game, but you can never count on Minnesota. But here's the reason why I don't see an upset from the Bears. If we're talking Bears +6, that's a whole different story, especially if Justin Fields starts. And he adds something to the team. We just don't know exactly what it is, but he does add something to that offense. That offense is so damn stagnant. They need him desperately. But when I'm looking at that game, man, my main question and why I don't think the Bears will pull the upset, even though it's tempting, it's kind of sizzling in front of us, is this Bears defense might have given up. The last 2 weeks, you guys can go watch the film and you guys can make your own indications and your own analysis. But for me, they've given up. And that's never a good thing. We saw this Bears defense quit 2 years ago, and we know when the Bears defense is trying, they're actually pretty damn good. Even though Khalil Mack's been out the whole year, it really wasn't a problem. Even without Khalil Mack, they were playing competitive football. So that's where I'm at. Yo, what's up, Manuel? What's up, Jack? What's up, Tony? What's up, She Blows 13? I mean, Atlanta, the only thing stopping me from the Atlanta upset is their offensive line. And the only time Atlanta has really gotten their ass kicked this year is when a team has a good defensive line. Like, look at how they played against the Patriots. They didn't block Matt Judon the whole game. And one thing San Fran does have on defense is a good defensive line. That's really the only hurdle. Like, if you tell me this Atlanta offensive line comes out and plays average football, they give up 3 sacks, but they're not too bad. Listen, it could be an upset. Especially with the way, like, Atlanta just makes enough big plays on offense to stay in games. I mean, the plus 9.5 is a different story. I think that's closer than people think. I don't think San Fran's going to blow them out, for instance. We're hearing a lot of blowout talk from San Fran. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, dude. We already know it was postponed, but it's crazy, man. And it's hard to make much analysis on those games until we know who the hell's playing. Like, on this sheet, I never take notes for a live call-in show, but I actually had to take notes just circling how many players were out for these teams. Luckily, the NFL moved the games, so we should have something to bet. Not making any promises, though. This whole week, I was cautious. Just remember when I did the Week 15 spreads, recorded them 1 p.m. Eastern. I checked the spreads after I upload the video at 4:30. They've completely changed. Like, even Atlanta jumped up 2 points, and they don't really have any positive tests involved in that game. It's just been a crazy week, man. Yeah, dude, Dave, there's going to be a bet on Patreon this weekend. There will be multiple bets. I'm not shying away from my responsibility. Never shying away from my responsibility. That's how we go. Yeah, there'll be bets up on Patreon. I'm just working on the time I'm going to lay them up because I did put in 2 bets today. I'll probably post those on Patreon tonight. And you guys will have to wait for the others. So that's where we're at with it. Yeah. Okay, let's get to the Patreon questions. This is from Aldad Ronan. Hey, John, would you still bet teams that are out of the playoff race? I know that motivation is a big factor in football. Which teams would you say are tanking, gave up? And which is your favorite team to make a surprise playoff run? Thanks for the answers. Let's get this money. First part of your question, I always bet teams that are out of the playoff race because there's going to be people fighting for jobs. And that's one thing you have to understand. Jobs are still on the line in the NFL. And you need to track which teams are actually getting better. And a lot of bad teams will get hot the last 3 or 4 games. And it happens like that, especially as young talent develops. And especially with all these injuries, all these positive tests. I mean, if a bad team comes into a situation and they're healthy and the Rams are down 16 players, for instance, that's going to make a difference. That's going to close the gap. And also, there's a point of nothing to lose. We see some teams who fight for the playoffs, they clench up, man. They clench up. And let me get to the second part of your question. Yeah, motivation is everything. There's one team I know for sure that's tanking, and I can say it definitively. We know the Houston Texans are tanking. Once they benched Tyrod Taylor for Davis Mills again, that was the tank. That was kind of like the cement in the pavement that proved they're tanking now. They don't want to win another game. They have no interest in it. So I think Texans would be a team that is tanking, and they got an interesting matchup this week. Again, They got an interesting matchup this week against the Jags. I don't think the Jags are tanking, for instance. What other team do I think is tanking? Jets, but the Jets just suck. So they've been this way all year. And when you had one of the worst defenses in the league, we haven't seen Detroit stop trying yet, but I think we're getting to that point. Some people were flirting with Detroit as an upset against Arizona. I hated that. I even had to put it on the upset videos just to tell people not to bet it. But yeah, dude, Houston is definitely tanking. We can say that for sure. All right, let's get to the next Patreon question. Mike 87 says, anybody else smashed the Raiders at -2? Cleveland starting their third string quarterback on Saturday. Well, if you did smash it, you're probably going to get Baker Mayfield, and they're probably going to be able to get players off COVID protocol. NFL made a new rule today. I don't really want to go into the dirty details, but yeah, so that would be dangerous if you did it. But I still think about it, and I don't think the Jags are tanking. I really don't. I don't think there's enough organization in that organization for them to tank. If you see how disorganized and dysfunctional that organization is. I mean, I know Urban Meyer, he had to be the scapegoat, and you always need a scapegoat. That's just how life is. Especially in the internet world, you need someone to blame. You need someone to kick. You need someone who's achieved more than you to punch at, like Urban Meyer. He's a good candidate. Like, look at how many national championships he has. I don't think the Jags are going to tank, but their team just sucks. So there's that, and their team's soft. Their defense is actually good. I haven't had any complaints with the defense the whole year. It's just that offense is so non-functional that it kind of looks like tanking. But I think the Jags are going to have a nice little response. I don't think they go on like a 3-game winning streak to finish the season or anything, but I think we see at least a little bit of a response. Am I crazy in that? Yeah, but Jack, the whole thing is Urban might not be able to cash in because they fired him I think they're going to fire him with cause, with him kicking the kicker. We know he didn't go out and boot the kicker to hurt him or anything. It was probably a playful kick. But everyone's so dramatic nowadays. I think they're going to be able to fire him and not pay him. That's just my prediction. I'm not a lawyer though. But I did read some lawyers' takes on it, and that was kind of their take. At least it looks like the Jets are set. I mean, at least it looks like the Jags are setting to fire him with cause, so he doesn't get any money. Maybe he'll make an agreement. Maybe he'll get like a $7 million buyout, and just move on with his life. But yeah, he should get his money because the Jags were the ones who signed that damn contract. No one forced them to. This is from Robert Robertson. What's up, Rob? I had the Chiefs plus. That's not a question. Anthony Babcock. I took Chiefs. Okay. Anthony Babcock says bet Toledo tomorrow. Yeah, man. I get you. Alan Corrales. Moneymaker, what are your thoughts on the Colts winning the AFC South? My bookie is paying 8 times the bet. Let me look at the schedules. Let me look at the Titans schedule. Let me look at the Colts schedule. I kind of think it just depends. Depends if you think Tennessee's going to choke it away because Tennessee's in first place right now. Okay, so the Colts got the Patriots. I actually think they beat the Patriots. Cardinals, Colts. We'll see what Cardinals we see that game. That's certainly winnable. Then they're on the road to the Raiders. That's actually kind of a trap game. Jags at Colts. Okay, so Colts could go 3-1 at worst 2-2. And they could actually lose to the Patriots as well. I'm not going to rule that out. Okay, let me get to the Titans schedule. Titans got Steelers, 49ers, Dolphins, Texans. Man, let me see. I wouldn't do that bet because the Colts need to make up 2 games. And unless you think there's a Titans collapse, don't the Titans kind of have to lose this week too? If you think the Titans are going to lose to the Steelers, then I get the rationale because then stuff will heat up. And then we could see the Titans choke. But Derrick Henry, he might be back the last 2 games of the regular season. They're hinting towards playoffs. If they really needed him in the last 2 games of the regular season, I could see him playing. Just giving an example. Yeah, I mean, I don't like the Colts either, but it gets to the point like if you run the ball good at this time of the year, it's a great equalizer. And look at how physical their front is on defense. Like on defense, the Colts don't do anything spectacular. Like they're very vanilla, they're very average. But because they're physical, they're actually able to get stops. There's just not enough physical teams in this league at the moment. Yes, in a normal year, like 5 years ago, this Colts team would be nothing because they're not like their offensive line's nasty, but they shouldn't be being able to bully people like the way they are. Like the way they bullied the Buffalo Bills, that was more of an indictment on the Bills than us hyping up the Colts. Yeah, and I didn't fall for the bait. I'm sure a lot of you didn't fall for the bait. And the more I think about that Tampa Bay game, because we got a Tampa Bay question on Patreon, just want me to go in depth on the Saints games. Here we go. I actually am leaning towards Tampa Bay covering. I know plus 11 is a lot, but Taysom Hill's so bad. And I don't see Kamara going off. Now, we know this Buccaneers defense, they don't show up. They don't play consistent. But if they turn it on, even if they turn it on for 2 quarters, it could be enough to obliterate the Saints. On this Brady-led offense, I can't see them slowing down. And I'm not like a big stat guy. I'm not like a big MVP guy. I don't think that influences much on the field. But you guys can just bounce this off your head when I throw it at you. Is it just me, or does Tom Brady really want this MVP? And I don't think there's going to be anything stopping him. The Saints defense is nasty. The Saints defense is legit top 5 in this league, in my opinion, from the film. But at a certain point, aren't the Saints kind of just throwing in the white towel? Haven't they been beaten? Haven't they been battered enough? I mean, doesn't attrition come into play here? And then did I mention Taysom Hill is terrible? I mean, the thing with the Saints, like, look at how bad their receiving core is with Mike Thomas never really trying to show up this year. Just look at how bad it is. Yeah, Sean Payton's still creating wide open guys running because the play design's nasty and they're able to do play action because their big offensive line and Kamara are damn good. But Taysom Hill is such a liability. I'm switching to Tampa Bay with that minus 11. Instincts, fundamentals say, yeah, Saints plus 11. How much does Tampa care about it? Does Tampa even need a win by more than 7 points? Do they want to win by more than 7 points? Yeah, and then Peyton tested positive today. So there's that. And I've been saying all week, with these bets, you got to wait to the last minute this week, unfortunately, because I feel like there's still more stuff in store. Like, there was no hint that the Saints had the virus in the locker room. And there was no hint. I think maybe like one player had it. It wasn't like a Rams or Browns situation or no-name situation that we could see coming. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, this week is going to be horrendous. There will be bets, though, on Patreon, but got to be pretty safe. Okay, this is from Johnny Gonzalez. What's up, Lawson? These Cali gas prices are messing me up. Dude, I saw it's like $7 a gallon. I don't know if I got baited with the clickbait on that one, but I can't be too surprised by it at this point. especially with the state of California. There's just they're pretty much just like putting you on a table and making love to you. I don't want to use the R word. YouTube. Okay, so I saw that article that the Raiders are really considering benching Carr to get Mariota some looks for the rest of the season. Think this might be an upgrade. What do you think? What's your analysis on the game? The pandemic stuff is really taking a toll on the NFL. Yeah. I saw this coming down the turnpike all week, and it is what it is. I wish they would let asymptomatic players play, but that's the world we live in. Now, they did move the game, but I think moving the game hurts the Raiders. Is that just me? Because I think the Browns are going to get a lot of people off that list, especially with the new guidelines the NFL put out today. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to go into this stuff. This stuff bores me, talking about COVID protocols, but we need to talk about a little bit of it. You guys can do the research for yourself. But so I think that's going to make the Browns stronger this game. And your Mariota question is actually interesting. I think we've seen Mariota get like 3 chances. He did start one game last year, if I remember correctly. And I remember he played like a second half because Carr got banged up and Mariota added a spark. See, here's the thing with Marcus the Magic Man Mariota. He's good in bits and pieces. Like if you needed to start him 3 games, he's going to give you a boost, especially because he can run read option and he's got really quick feet. Mariota is better than people think. But after 3 weeks, Mariota can't really do much. And plus, he's brittle and he gets hit a lot and he gets hurt easy. I don't know if you remember Jake Locker with Tennessee? I mean, Mariota's just as fragile as he was. And those guys used to take a lot of hits. I mean, Mariota can go down at any minute. Yeah, Tom, I agree. They need a better plan. And, it's really just blown up in their face. Yeah, dude. And like even just the injuries are starting to stack up this week for teams. And the NFL really wanted to get greedy adding this last game. And listen, take the bias out of it. Like the last week helps me. It helps the channel. And in a way, it helps bettors. It does help us, even though this last game is going to be, we're going to have so many people going injured to the playoffs. It might actually hurt our playoff betting. But I'm just trying to see the rosy side of it. But man, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. They have this extra game, and some teams are just going to have wasted weeks. Here we go. Fredo, I will be posting the game I pumped the most on Patreon. I didn't dodge your question. Okay. Paul Pastore, do you like the Colts plus 9.5 on the over? Yes, but I didn't put it on my teaser because I feel like there's a risk of the Colts not showing up. Like if the Colts show up, I think they win that game. And I'm not trying to dodge it, but we've seen in this league, some teams just don't show up. And the Patriots are a tough challenge. Like, let's not mince words about it. And I worry. I think the Colts should be able to run it. But I worry. What happens if the Patriots stop the run in the first half, like the Buccaneers stopped the Colts running in the first half? Is Wentz going to be able to do anything against that Patriots defense? I mean, that's where the worry comes in. I just think there's other meat to pick for the teasers. Like, I don't even think it's worth teasing it up to that. I think either the Colts win or they get fucking manhandled. I don't think there's any in between, Paul. Zamora, thank you for the super chat. Let me read this. Cincinnati plus 2.5. I can live with that. I like it. Tennessee, I really like Cincinnati. I saw they were up to plus 3.5 on my book today. I don't know if that reflected in yours. Tennessee minus 1, yeah. Atlanta plus 9, yes. We just need Atlanta's offensive line to block. They have struggled with teams who have good defensive lines. That's really the only worry for the Atlanta game. Bills versus Carolina under 44. I really do like that under 44, especially with Josh Allen's status. Like, dude, a sprained foot for a man who's 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds is no joke. It's just no joke. And I'm not saying that. Okay, the Bills didn't put it on the injury report. We know he's going to start, but come on, man. I think that's going to affect him. He's taken a lot of hits this year, too. Let's not even mince words about that. Josh Allen has taken a pounding this year. So I like that under 44. We'll see if the Carolina defense shows up, though. It'll be interesting to see. 49ers over 46.5. I wouldn't go that. I would take that one off. The rest of it, I can vibe with. It's just that 49ers Falcons game has a lot of variables. And both teams, they do like kicking field goals. Let's be honest about it. Both teams like kicking field goals. So that can kind of kill it, man. That's not something I would put on. If you put a gun to my head, I would say it would go over because I think Atlanta comes out and I think they're competitive. But like I said, is that offensive line ready? They better be ready or they're going to get their ass kicked. And they have gotten better the last 4 or 5 weeks. I actually like the way the offensive line stood up against Tampa Bay. And that Tampa Bay film, I know Atlanta really wasn't all that competitive in the game, but it's what set me up to bet them against the Panthers because I at least saw some signs. They were more physical on the defensive line. They were more physical on the offensive line. And that's really Atlanta's biggest problem. And Matt Ryan's making 3 or 4 big plays a game. It's the same thing with Hurts. It's not sexy. They don't put up good stats, and no one's going to say they're great by any means, but 3 or 4 big plays a game, and you got Jimmy G. If he's forced to throw the ball, look at what happened against Seattle. Here we go. Let me get to the Patreon questions. I think we're through them already. Let me see if – okay, Shea Garcia. I got Colts -1, Bengals +1, Titans -1. And you want me to pick between Detroit and Seattle. Seattle +7. It's not a game I would bet individually, but the Rams have 16 players out. They moved the game to Tuesday, though. So we'll see who gets back in. But if you ask me right at this moment, yeah, Seattle. Stay away from Detroit, man. Stay away. Yeah, and we'll see what I just want to see what Atlanta does. I got a good feeling about them this week. I don't like betting on teams who can get pushed around on offensive line and defensive line. I just don't like it. But has anyone else noticed one thing about the 49ers? You know, that offensive line, especially in the run game, they're not as good as they used to be. And it actually seems like people are able to penetrate more than before. I mean, Atlanta's defensive lines has problems. Don't get me wrong. And they're really undersized. But if you can penetrate and you get really aggressive against the 49ers run game, anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. Lions will cover, man. Oh, okay. You guys are saying that. Yeah, dude. And Tim, about the Chiefs game last night. Chiefs, man. Now finally Tyreek the Thrill Hill and Kelsey are getting hot. So the Chiefs are going to be a factor in this AFC. And it was getting to the point where I was starting to actually get sad because I really was starting to think, man, the Patriots are going to find a way to get through to the Super Bowl. Somehow, some way, I felt like they're going to find a way to get to that AFC Championship. This is from JSAP. What's up, JSAP? How you doing, man? Which 2 should I start, Fournette, Zeke, or Gaskin? Gaskin was activated today. Gaskin in automatically. You play the Jets, you put in whoever's playing the Jets. We could go out there. You could put me at wide receiver. I could get 7 for 56 and a touchdown against this Jets defense. They're so bad. I would go Gaskin. make sure they're going to use them. I think they will, though. Gaskin's been a beast this last 5-6 weeks. Zeke or Fournette? I'd go Fournette. My man. Now, with the Bucs, you always worry about them throwing it all over the park, and the Saints are damn good. But when they get to the red zone, they're going to slam it with Fournette. Last week, we hit the player prop with Fournette. I told you guys all week. I even think I did it on one of the spread videos. I just mentioned, bet the over for whatever Fournette's yards were. Now, the Saints defense is a lot different than running on the Buffalo Bills defense. We all know that. But I think Fournette can get an easy touchdown. As for Zeke, that Giants front seven has really good run fits. Now, how much are they going to try? Are they ready to fight? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Dude, Mike, I definitely think the Titans make a push once Henry comes back. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but their defense is actually legit good this year. Before, they would just stat pack because they would get to play like the Jags. They get to play a terrible Colts team when the Colts were bad. So they used to be able to stat pack, and the AFC South did get some good scheduling. So they used to always stat pad, and they weren't for real. I actually think their defense is for real. That's why I really like him against Pittsburgh as well. And then if Henry comes back, I think it's only going to help. A.J. Brown will be healthy. That's what I'm looking at. 3PH, the movement. What happens if a game gets postponed in your teaser? They're not going to postpone that, dude. They're going to go with it. They already scheduled the games for Monday and Tuesday. So depends on your betting company, but most are going to ride with it. And, yeah, that's why I just was on here all week telling people caution. And caution doesn't really sell, but I legit care about you guys. And I knew there is going to be people who got in a little bit of a trap here. If you have a good bookie, which they don't really need to be good bookies anymore because they're all owned by the same 3 or 4 corporations. So, yeah, that's where we're at. All right, I'm going to get to the YouTube questions now. Okay. Antonio, what do you think of an Atlanta-Cincy parlay? I'd probably back off Atlanta. I'd probably put Cincy on it, though. I'd probably take Atlanta off of it, though, because I'm worried. Like I said, I'm worried about their offensive line. But I wouldn't think that's a bad parlay. But I'm not a big fan of parlays anyways. Stevie Ray, has anyone on planet Earth watched more game film than you this season? I don't know. But I watch a lot of the bad teams. I don't know if anyone – I'll say this. I don't know if anyone has watched more bad football than me this year. Maybe like Jets fans, Panthers fans. But I've watched a ton of bad football, and I've watched a ton of bad football teams this whole year. I've watched 8 Texans games. Haven't watched them all, but I've watched 8 Texans games. I've watched like 9 or 10 Jets games. I mean, it's really easy now because I'm a person, man. I can't go to bed at night. And nor do I want to. I'd rather sleep to like 1 or 2 in the afternoon and then stay up to like 4 or 5 in the morning. And that's just when I get in my zone. We all have our zones. That's my zone. Like once it gets to like 11 o'clock at night, that's my zone. So that's when I watch a lot of the film. And then with the good teams, you kind of know what's going on. So like if I miss a Buccaneers game, which I don't think I missed a Buccaneers game all year, we kind of know what's going to go on. Nothing's really going to surprise us. That's why I would suggest just watch teams you haven't watched. Try to watch like 6 games of every team, at least, now that we're at this point of the year. Here we go. Send in the questions. I'm going to answer the YouTube questions. This is from Tico DeBarge. What you think of Cowboys -10, Green Bay -6, Bills -10? I think Bills -10 is a little bit risky. Okay, let me get into it. Bills are going to be without Spencer Brown. They're already without their starting right tackle. So they're going to have to change up this whole line. And it's already a line that's getting beat. Now, Tico, if you tell me the Bills are going to sprinkle in some run game here, like we get like a 55, 45 pass run balance. I just need the Bills to run it a little bit. And that's kind of how you want to attack the Panthers defense, because the Panthers defense is fast and they only have one good run stuffer on the team. At defense, it's a defensive tackle. So they only have one good run stuffer on the team. They're small as fuck, but they're fast as fuck, and they got two pretty decent speed rushers. That says run the ball up the middle to me, if anything does. But are the Bills going to do it? And then can this Bills offensive line withstand it? And this Bills offensive line was trash before. Now they're missing even more players. I think there's opportunities for Carolina to get a pass rush and hit Josh Allen. On this Josh Allen sprained foot, man, I don't think it's fluff. I don't think it's someone trying to work the spread down or the Bills trying to be mysterious about stuff. I don't think it's any of that. Like, I actually think it's serious. Green Bay -6, yeah. Dude, Lamar's not playing. If you can get Green Bay at -6 right now, for those of you asking for best bets, do it. I went to put in the Green Bay bet. It was at -7 already. It gets frustrating with the line movement, and I'm not trying to get conspiratorial here. I really am not trying to get conspiratorial. And this channel, we got like 17K people, okay? So we're not the biggest channel in the world. But my goodness, I am starting to think we're shifting lines. Because once my video dropped, I had Atlanta at like, it went... When I did the video, it was like Atlanta like +7.5, shoots up to +9.5. Like it's just has happened too many times this year. Just get Green Bay at -6 if you can get it. I like it. Cowboys -10. That's out of my fundamentals. I don't like betting teams on the road, like when they're -10 and 11, but they should blow the brakes off the Giants. Giants are a team that confuses me. But when you're betting against Joe Judge, that's not a bad position to be in. So you'll probably hit with that. A little bit nervous about the Bills -10, but has Carolina shown us anything on offense? That those could hit. Those could hit. Let's go. Seahawk game under. What's up, Terry? How you doing, Terry? Let me go to that Seahawk game. Let's see what the under is. Okay, 1 second. Let's get to that Seahawk game. My bad. I'm looking for it. Because we have to do the live spreads because they've been fluctuating so much. So I have it on memory. I just can't rely on my memory because these spreads are changing every minute this week. Okay, they play at 4. Did they really? They took it off the board, bro. Okay, let me try to find it. Yeah, it's not on the board, my man. It's not on the board anymore. Yeah, Terry, just shoot me the line if you have it, but it's not on the Vegas Insider board where they have 6 different books and what games they're doing. I'm going to refill my water. I'll be right back. It's just 50 seconds. It's 90 degrees, man. I'm sweating in here. noite. Tchau. Obrigado. All right, thank you for your patience. Already got Green Bay on -2 Sunday night. Yeah, but Mike, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but the early betting is going to get more people chlamydia than it's going to get them a good time, if you know what I'm saying. This week is the example of it. Yeah, man, this line movement's been crazy this whole week. J-Doc, send me a message on Instagram. I'll hook you up, man. We'll figure something out. Would you take Carolina plus 13? I mean, that's not a game I want to bet, but I would. Yeah, plus 13 is different than plus 10. And plus, that really helps the garbage points. And are the Bills playing that good of football? Okay, here we go. Zamora. Every team that has won Monday Night Football has won the following week except Pittsburgh. They tied Detroit. Does this make you nervous with the Pats this week? No. I mean, I get it. I just don't like stats like that. I don't know what relevance that has. What relevance does that have to an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman battling for position? What relevance does that have? And also with Monday night, you get one last day to prepare. And that just shows how practice and preparation is completely out of the window in this day and age of the NFL. That's why we get so many teams not showing up. It doesn't make me nervous. Something like that doesn't make me nervous. But I'll tell you what makes me nervous. For instance, Atlanta's offensive line against the Bosa brother on the 49ers. That makes me nervous, even though all the other matchups and the way Arthur Smith is coaching for Atlanta, I'm liking what they're doing. And he's been doing a really good job these last 5-6 games, especially with the scheme. I think they had that one bad week, those 2 bad weeks where the Patriots absolutely ass blasted them. And then they put up 7 or 3 the next game on offense. But yeah, man, it's Seattle Seahawks over on their 45.5 against the Rams. I'm going over. But that just depends who's out. And only God knows at this point. Lawson, I want to bet Green Bay while I can get it at -6.5. It's worth the risk. Tim, it's worth the risk, especially with Huntley. I'm going to try to say something to chill your nerves and make you nervous, but I don't think it will make you nervous. Huntley has actually played pretty good in reserve when he's been with the Ravens. And honestly, Lamar hasn't been offering much this year. And you're looking at Mark Andrews and Hollywood Brown. We need to put them on a milk carton because they've been completely absent. They've just been MIA this whole, the last 7-8 weeks. Have you seen Mark Andrews? That's what I'm at. That's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. I would pick Atlanta plus 10. It's up to plus 10 now. Jesus, it's moving a lot. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Rob Nick. $25. Thank you, my man. I bow in grace of you. Thank you guys for supporting the show, all of you guys. And even if you can't make a donation, just share the videos on your Facebook feed so people stop yelling about politics and masks and stuff. Waiting on the third leg of a big 3-team teaser with New England plus 9 tomorrow. Also had over under 43.5 last night and Rams plus 9.5 this week. This week we're looking at for a 3-team 7-point. New England, Indianapolis, over under 38.5. You're going over? Okay, I'm fine with it. Close game. I'll push over in the fourth quarter, but bro, you're going to have to sweat balls for that over. Just so you know, it's going to go over, but you're going to have to sweat. It wasn't going to be like the over for remember the teaser video yesterday? It's not going to be like the over in the Chargers game. last night. You're going to be sweating into the fourth quarter, but yeah, I'll hit. Cincy plus 10. Yeah, I really like Cincy this week. You guys want something? Cincy money line against Denver. I don't know why no one's been talking about it the whole day. Cincy's plus 3 on my book that I saw. It's been on 2.5 on some saw. It's been at 3.5. I mean, we'll see Joe Mixon's health. Friday injury reports have not dropped yet due to all the craziness. Unless you guys have information, I don't. Yeah, man. If Joe Mixon plays, Cincy plus 10, because you need to run it against the Broncos. If you throw it 40, 50 times against them, if you go one-dimensional, the Broncos defense is going to kick your ass. They just are. They're covering people really well. They might be covering better than any team in this league right now. I'm not saying they got the best corners in the league. I'm not saying they got the best safeties in the league. I'm just saying I don't know if a team's covering better or playing better in the secondary at the moment. And their pass rush has actually been unironically better since Von Miller left. That's why Cincy needs to run that rock. Cincy is getting an offensive guard who's damn good. He's getting healthy this week. They really missed him against the Chargers. Not making excuses, though, Cincy still should have won that game. And Saints plus 18.5. Yes. I don't think – I think Tampa wins that game, by 14 points, 14, 17 points. So 18.5 is a good place. But, Rev, I would like to just throw some caution at you and say Taysom Hill's not a guy who I would even trust to get garbage points. And you know why. Because he can't throw in a spiral over 10 yards. And when he tries to throw over 15 yards, he throws everything in a line drive, and you just can't throw like that. Yeah, dude, get the likes up. Get the likes up. What's up, Mike? Dude, Bovada sucks, Mike. And, Mike, you want to come on in 15 minutes if you can? Yeah, dude. That was actually a Nike box. I keep something in there. I take a type of tea, so I keep my tea in there. Yeah. I want to see what Mike thinks of that Panthers. Okay. Jamie Zalestra. What's up? James Zalestra. Dude, my bad. You're always on here, and I fucking called you Jamie. My bad. James. Lawson, it's a Bombi. Minus 21. Here you missed that cold weather yet. Dude, cold weather sucks, man. I would rather sweat without an air conditioning than have anything negative. Anything negative degrees, whether it's Celsius, Fahrenheit. Where I used to live, we used to get a good 10 to 15 days a year where it would be negative Fahrenheit. And where I went to college, it was so brutal because it was on the Canadian border with the United States. So it's absolute torture. I would just drink just to feel alive because the cold made me feel like Dracula. My skin got so white, it was ridiculous. I didn't even leave the house for 2 months. Yeah, I think the game of the week is the Colts-Patriots. Yeah, let me check if I got any more Patreon questions. Okay, Shane says, Brother Lawson's just dropping you a big hello before we head into Christmas week. Shane, have a great Christmas, my guy. I always love when you go WWF psycho-animated mode while we should back or fade a particular team. And certainly full jacket mode. Keep well from Dublin. Yo, enjoy. I heard Ireland's beautiful during Christmas, man. My mom wants to visit there. I will not be visiting because I don't like cold, but maybe one day. I've only been to Southern Europe. Okay, this is Shane's question. Do you know when the NFL regular award seasons will be settled at the end of week 17 or earlier? As I am a Bill Belichick Coach of the Year and Garrett for Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year is complicated, bro. I think they're going to go Micah Parsons with that. Because Micah Parsons has flash, but honestly, from the film I've watched, Myles Garrett's been more consistent. but they're going to go Micah Parsons. But if you already put in a bet, fine. And I think they're going to go hoodie Bill Belichick. I do think a little bit different on that, though. How can I say it? Let me just give me a second to mentally. Doesn't Cliff Kingsbury deserve a little hype? I'm no Cliff Kingsbury guy, but doesn't he deserve a little bit of hype? Shit, man. Like, LaFleur's not going to get it, nor does he deserve it. What Vrabel's done with Tennessee with all the injuries has been kind of impressive. And you guys know I don't like Vrabel, nor do I think he's a good coach. It's going to be the hoodie, but I think Cliff Kingsbury should be getting consideration. Like, I know we hit that money pot on Monday night with the Rams against the Cardinals, and yeah, that was fun. But I don't think that changes my mind about Cliff Kingsbury. He surprised me this year. Like, the fact that he was able to beat good teams like the 49ers with Colt McCoy at quarterback, I mean, that says a lot. I know the hoodie's going to get it, especially after Monday night where he only threw like 3 or 2 passes. They're going to give it to the hoodie, but I would like to see it go out to someone else. But that's just me. We got to respect the hoodie at this point. I mean, he's kind of beaten respect into me this whole year. I just don't know if we've lost a chance to fade the Patriots yet, though. I just don't. Like, we gave Vegas an old Texas, like, what do they call it? Woodshedding. We gave them the woodshedding last year on Patriots game. It was just Patriots. I'm betting the other team. I don't care who's fucking playing. This year they've adjusted. I'm surprised they're not rating the Patriots like higher. I'm surprised they're really not getting excited about the Patriots. Like, there were people who came on like the Week 15 spread video. Make sure you go check that out. Hit the like button. There are people who came on that video and they were like, Patriots should be favored this game by 6. Like, all right, bro. Like, I'm not the biggest Colts guy either, but you know. But Max, like, I don't like blanket statements like that. Like, young quarterbacks struggle at Mile High. Young quarterbacks struggle in the NFL, period. And Mile High's a bitch. And the whole thing with Mile High is you have to have a running game. You just do. So, I mean, I guess it's relevant. But young quarterbacks, they're normally on shit teams. So, like, how do you really quantify that? I mean, you look at Trevor Lawrence on the Jags. Look at Gardner Minshew when he played in Denver. He actually beat them. He didn't. Gardner Minshew's terrible, and he didn't struggle. Like, just throwing out examples. Miami -10, but that got up an awful lot when I can't remember the original spread where I picked it. I think it was at like -7.5, -8. Dude, it's not worth it. The cold's not worth it. And a lot of people are like moving to Idaho because the California prices. A lot of people are moving to Texas. And, dude, I'm no fan of like Zona or New Mexico. No disrespect to any of my fans who are from there. It's just not really like my vibe. But I think that's the next frontier to go because the cold it's not worth it because you don't do enough. That it becomes a problem. Like, for instance, I crashed my car. I wrecked a car last February because of the cold, man. So that wasn't fun. What's up, Graham? How you doing, man? What's up, bro? If the Patriots managed to make it to the Super Bowl and win, would that give Bill Belichick? No. How would it? Like, okay. Would that give Bill Belichick a lot more credit for Tom Brady's rings? Okay, you phrased it. Okay, I got it now. He doesn't deserve more credit than Brady first. And Brady going to the Buccaneers, a perennial loser in this league. And listen, I know people only have like a memory of like 2 or 3 years in the NFL and in society in general, but Tampa Bay has always been a team that has spent bread on free agents. Remember when they signed Werner to one of the biggest corner contracts? Vincent Jackson, dude, they've always splashed around money, and yet they never win. And then Brady comes in, and then instantly they start winning. And then he takes Tampa Bay, a team with minimal fans, minimal home crowd support, and then he puts them in the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. And I'm not so sure the Patriots are getting through the Chiefs. I mean, we've been riding the Chiefs the last, it's getting to the point where we've been riding the Chiefs like 5, 6, 7 weeks straight. It's just, it really does seem like the Chiefs are peaking at the right time. So it's going to be hard if the Chiefs have to go to Foxborough, but Patriots have to keep winning. I want to see what the Patriots do this week against a physical team. Patriots have proved me wrong, though. I'm not even trying to dodge that. They have. Okay, I'm going to read this. The lines jump from 7.5 to 9.5 as a teaser protection line. As the most profitable teaser numbers are 6 point down from 7.5, 8, 8.5. Yeah, mathematically, you're 100% right, but I don't think spreads are designed to shield against teasers. They're designed to make people bet the game. And some of their spreads this week make me not want to bet the game. But people will bet anything. I get what you're saying about the teasers, though. I would respectfully disagree. And just because we bet teasers doesn't mean it's all that common. We've kind of been in this game a lot longer than a lot of people. A lot of people just bet 6 or 17 parlays. Let's be honest. That's the majority of the betting, bro. Probably, right? I'm not talking like dollars wise, but the majority of the betting is people doing 7-8 game parlays. And then I hope single bets after that. Yeah, focus. I like the Colts to win too. I'm trying not to overthink it. I have a respectful fear of the New England Patriots. Like we all should at this point, but I just think now's the time to back the Colts. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, with the cold, I would need a drink because it's just got too brutal for me. It's just got too brutal, and then I get melancholy because a winter in New York State is really long. It's really long. Thank you for the donation, Brandon. $20. Lawson. Been on fire the past 2 months with parlays shitting back-to-back weeks. Been with you for a minute. You're the money man. 3 legs left on my parlay. Bills, Dolphins, Raiders. Got moved to Monday night. Ready to cover Browns. What did you get the Raiders at, though? The Dolphins should be able to do it. Bills, we'll see what Carolina team we see. I just wanted to add caution to that Bills game. But yeah, I like it, Brandon. I appreciate it. I would go like a different game there, though. But you already put it in. I only had one tweak to make. But I appreciate your donation. Yeah, dude, I'll have to try that offense because in Madden, I use Urban Meyer's offense. I've actually been playing a little bit of Madden. J Lawson, YouTube, Xbox One. I got the Xbox Live ready. I'm paying for it 2 times because I lost my username and they got my card. So someone go on and play me. But no one seems to have Xbox One. Yeah. Because everything's black and white, Mike. Okay, I'll read this. Laugh out. Why does it have to be one or the other responsible for the rings? Bill had rings as a DC before Brady, and Brady has a ring without Bill. They're both great. Yeah, they're both great, but, one is going to be better, and then one actually has to, go out on the field and, do the stuff, and the other gets to sit in a hoodie like this the whole game with a mean look on his face, and he can have bad draft classes, yet people will come and defend him because of the stuff Brady did on that football field for him. But yeah, dude, you got to love the hoodie. I'll take shots at him, but you got to love the hoodie. He's a fucking legend. Best coach I've ever seen. But Brady's the best player we've ever seen, so you got to go with the best player over the best coach you've ever seen, right? And the longevity of Brady's ridiculous, bro. And then also, being a defensive coordinator for Bill Parcells, I give you credit for that, but how much did he actually do? It's like saying, how much did Matt Patricia actually do? I don't know, man. Brandon Peralta, anytime, bro. So, yeah, put that parlay in there, and hopefully Bills and Dolphins win. Then I can just drop bread on the Browns. We'd love to do a call. And, dude, send me your email on Instagram. Send me your email. I'm gonna get someone on soon. Yeah, dude, Brandon, just send me something on Instagram. I think I'm gonna get Mike on real quick. We'll see if Mike wants to come on. I don't know if he's still around, but we'll see. If anyone wants to come on, we'll go. We might go 3 hours today. I don't want to appreciate it. Virtual hug. Put my mask on, man. I'm afraid. Okay, let me get to some question. It seems like everyone's on PS4 or PS5. Anytime I'm trying to get a game of Madden, it seems like. Yeah, bro, that's awesome. That's fine. It's just I'll send you an invite. I'll send it to your email. It should be there waiting for you. No rush, bro. Yeah, so send me. Here we go. Rams or Seahawks -4.5. Do we even have enough information about that game to make a judgment? I mean, really. Because I wrote down, I actually took notes today, dude. I've been so paranoid about these injuries and these COVID scratches. Took notes today before a live call-in show. Normally a day I relax, read some football news, and I'm ready to come on here and talk to you guys. Fucking taking notes like I'm a fucking doctor about COVID, dude, when most of the people are asymptomatic, and Rams got 16 guys. Washington had 18 guys. Browns had 18 guys. Rams got 16 guys, bro. That's a problem for me. That's a game you should just lay off until you get more information. Unless you have a lean or you know something we don't know about. Dude, Nathan, I don't want to go on this thing because honestly, dude, I see both sides to the argument. I don't care what everyone does. Everyone can do what they want to do, man. But bro, I saw a dude. I live in a big apartment building, and then we have a really nice big pool. I literally saw a dude swimming in the pool with a mask. He was keeping just his the water was coming up to here, and he had on the mask, and he was paddling away, and I'm just just let me out of this world. Just let me out of it. Even though it's been proven you can't transmit it outside. I even saw that on the NFL. I don't even want to go on this rant because they'll shadow ban my videos. I don't even have a strong opinion on any of this stuff. But I even saw on Pro Football Talk, they're advocating letting players play even if they test positive. Because I don't know, man. Why do I got to see people swimming in pools with masks? What the fuck's wrong with people? Come on, bro. I know, the news, it gives you anxiety about everything, but Jesus, get a grip of yourself, bro. Like, I just felt like didn't even feel like criticizing, or I just felt like, bro, like, you need someone to talk to. Like, I'll talk to you. You don't need to go see a therapist. I'll talk you through this. But yeah. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let me get some. Here we go. Yeah, dude. From just to jump on Wayne's comment, like, the refs are really, really poor this year, and they dodge a lot of stuff. Like, even that Tampa Bay game, like, since Lauren's in the room, okay, Bills make that comeback. Obviously, we're sweating. We got a lot of money on Tampa Bay. I still felt like Tampa Bay deserved to win the bet. I felt like Tampa Bay was the better team, and I literally predicted everything that would happen. But even that Bills comeback happened. Okay, like, did you see that pass interference non-call on Diggs? It's just, there's been so many calls like that. Remember that Steelers-Bears game? I almost had a heart attack. I literally, because we had money on the Bears, man, and it was a big week for us. It was like week 5 or 6. It's a big week in NFL betting. It's not like we had a slow start, but it wasn't the fastest start in the world. I really wanted that Bears Monday night game, and the refs did everything to try to take it from us. And I had a lot of money on that game. Had like 5 G's on that game. And just to see the level of officiating, I was astonished. And I watch South American soccer. I've been watching NFL my whole life. South American soccer's got terrible officiating. Terrible. But this NFL season has passed it for me. And I'm not one to come on here and complain about officiating. I mean, honestly, I deserve the break after what the refs did in Seattle against San Fran. So I'll take the break when I can get it. But my goodness, what was that call on Diggs? Why would they not throw that flag? Not going to even mention some of the other calls on Brady. Yeah, I think we're getting another shutdown regardless. Here in Brazil, no one's really paying attention to any of it now. But they're going to lock it down again. It's just a matter of time. We saw it happen in Europe first. Now they're doing it in New York again. So it's going to just come, man. And we're going to have to brace for it and deal with it. It just sucks because I got season tickets to the soccer team here. And, they're going to make me keep taking thing after thing after thing if I want to go. And it just becomes a problem. Yeah, no, there's weakness, but isn't that already a weakness we talked about? They just turn off the gas. They just turn off the gas. Like, that's the weakness on that secondary. But it's not like the Bills were throwing it all that great earlier in the game. It just sometimes happens. Hey, man, thoughts about a money line parlay? Bills, Cardinals, Bucs, Niners, Cowboys. Cowboys, yes. Niners, they're going to win. But you might have to swap that game more than you think. Bucs, love it. Cardinals, love it. Bills, love it. I actually like that parlay, dude. I'm gonna take a picture of that. 1 second. I actually like that because there's enough teams on there where there's a decent payout. Although parlays are very tough to hit, especially once you get over 3 teams, even if it's money line. But I like that. Just let me snap that. I like that, dude. Good job, bro. Yeah, dude, I moved to Brazil. I'm getting married here, so it's time to dip out, dude. Real estate prices were too high. I went on that rant last time, so dude, yeah, and I wasn't joking about the wearing a mask swimming. I'll take a video next time. I don't understand that, and I understand both sides to most issues. Like, I got a pretty open mind about stuff, but that left me shocked. But I laugh this stuff off. At this point, I just laugh. I don't get mad. I'm not going to save any of these people. I do, Nico. Hey, John, do you ever bet UFC? Yes. Only for fun, though. Betting UFC is worse than betting like baseball or NFL. It's so there's so many surprises, but I really feel like I'm going to throw this to you since you probably watch UFC. Okay, on the upper echelon fights, the main events, 2 versus the champion, 3 versus number 2. I think those are highly unpredictable, and I don't like touching those. I bet them for fun, just for fun. I'll throw $20 on it. My normal NFL bet's between like 250 and 350. Just giving you an example of the confidence level. But I really think there's hay to be made in the prelims and like ranked number 9 versus ranked number 14. Like I put up a big money line bet on Sugar Sean last week, for instance. Just because I've watched that Brazilian guy he pounded fight before, and I knew he had like just lead feet. Like he moves like this. Like some Brazilians like move like really slow like that. Even though they're good athletes, but they are known for being a little bit slow at times. So yeah, UFC's a goddamn gauntlet, man. I would be smoking like 6 vape packs a day if I had to earn my money betting UFC. NFL on Sunday is enough for me, man. And soccer, I feel more in control of. I actually feel in control of NFL and soccer to some extent. UFC, you have no control because when you're up on those upper echelon guys, one punch can change everything. I mean, you could say the same thing about NFL, but come on, there's more than one punch that can change the game. No, I don't bet NBA. NBA is crazy. Okay, K American 817. Hey Lawson, I like the over on the Rams Seattle game. What do you think? It's 45.5, but I need more information who's playing. Like last I checked, Rams have 16 guys in protocol. So what's the play there? I don't know. You tell me. What is the play there? And Seattle's peaking. I actually like the over more in that game. I'll tell you why, though. Let's just think the Rams are going to be semi-healthy. Like Odell has it, for instance. But let's just imagine the Rams are going to be somewhat healthy. I have the schedule here. Rams will be playing Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I'm actually happy. Like, even though this week was a complete cluster, at least we get a doubleheader on Monday. We get 2 games on Tuesday. We get more time to think about it. I'll get on here and let you guys know if one does become a money pick. But Seattle's playing more competitive, bro. And this Rams team, they did what we wanted finally. They ran the ball and they used play action. It wasn't a lengthy request I was giving them. Once I felt like the Rams were going to run the ball and use play action, that's why we finally bet them on Patreon. Easy win, but, betting the Rams is never easy because they're inconsistent. But I think they're going to find some consistency. As for Seattle, they're playing better. And Russell America Wilson, someone on this podcast did say 2 weeks ago, they said, Lawson, Russell America Wilson is turning the corner. And that person, whoever it was, I forget who it was 100% correct. But the strange thing about Seattle's offense is how DK Metcalf has been pretty much milk carton status this year, missing in action. That's really the only worry. I can't give it on here, Austin. Just add me on Instagram, Lawson Bets NFL. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Yes, my city has 3 million people. I'm going to just be here for a year, and then I'm going to move to my type of stuff, country, but near the beach. I live a 2-minute walk from the beach, so it's awesome. Go for a swim some mornings. Got the tan on, got a little bit burnt. But yeah, dude, it's good. And my girl's family lives here. For instance, my girl never left the city until 2 months. No, last week. Because last week when I did the call-in show, I did it in a hotel room, and you guys almost made me late for my flight. I had like 45 minutes when I entered the airport to get to my flight back to here. It was only an hour flight back to here. But yeah, so when you get in a situation like that, sometimes you have to give a little bit. So yeah, and living here is pretty good, man. Where I'm at is pretty good. There's a bit too many people. But that's what you get in big cities, part and parcel, man. And honestly, you guys know me. Like, I normally love people. It's just sometimes, especially since we're all Americans, you guys can understand, like, sometimes we like our space and sometimes we like a little bit of privacy. Sometimes we don't want people touching us. Sometimes when we're standing in a line, like, please, like, stay out of my ass. Like, you don't need to stand like this. You can just stand back just a wee bit. Not that I'm worried about that disease going around or anything like that. It's just like, sometimes I just don't want to be touched, or I don't want like a 20-minute conversation when I'm just trying to get back here and do my work. You know what I'm saying? But pros and cons with everything. I'd rather have people be too nice than be nasty, like in New York, bite your head off for just like looking at them. That's no way to live life. Why are people, the people in New York City, they brag about how great the city is. Yeah, they're fucking angry every day. They don't get any sun, and they live in like little boxes and pay like $5,000 a month. And I'm just wondering, why are you doing this? And you're trying to tell me my life sucks because I don't live in a big city. Let me check, Tony. Tony, you want to come on? 1 second, bro. Let me see where you're at. Yeah. Make sure you hit that like button when okay. 1 second. All right, let's go. Yeah, Tony, I'm gonna get you on. Just send me your email on Instagram. I always forget it. Okay. Dude, I'm going to be completely honest. I met her on Tinder, man, because I visited Brazil a lot. I would visit Brazil like 3-4 times a year. Met her on Tinder. She was really weird because she never used Tinder before. So, yeah. Stop crashing your nose. I don't know what that means. Oh, scratching. I got a nose itch. I'm from close to Canada, but not a Canadian. Canadians, they don't show that much emotion normally. Dude, batting horses. That's what Marty actually did. Now, some of you think Marty's made up, but that's how Marty actually got in the game. That's how he said he bought his first house. He used to bat horses at a few local tracks, and he knew so much about it. Like, he knew the jockeys, he knew what type of horse it was, he knew how to, he would go up and examine the horse's thighs and shit. I went out with Marty to a horse race one time, and he's fucking grabbing the thighs and shit, he's examining it like it's like a female model. Dude, horse batting is good if you know what you're doing. It's just no one knows what they're doing. And I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. And I think that's good, because people who act like they know what they're doing at stuff they have no experience in usually lose money pretty fast. Here we go. Just send me a message on Instagram. I'll tell you what book. I almost had a deal with a book company this year, but didn't go bad. Manolo Blanco. I'm from Toronto. I visited Toronto 2 times in my life. I liked it. Okay, let's get back to football. This Patriots versus Indianapolis, over or under? Well, let's look at what it's at right now. So we got Patriots, Colts, over under 45.5. I'm going over. Now, the fundamentals, you would normally say Colts play pretty good defense. Colts are facing a rookie quarterback. Carson Wentz is going to face Bill Belichick. You would normally say, okay, bro, this is going to go under. But I actually think, contrary to public belief, I think this pushes towards over. Like, I see like a 27-24 score, see like a 27-20 score. Like, I don't see any of these teams getting into the 30s by any means, but yeah, people stop by unannounced. And dude, that's a problem because I'm not a rude person. I'm really not a rude person. You have to push me. Some people push me enough where I snap. But yeah, dude, I'm not a rude person. So, and I do like conversation. That's why I said my favorite video is Friday. I like coming on here talking to you guys. And normally you guys give me some good ideas and it gives me clarity before I put in the bets in Patreon. So in a way, you guys are helping me. But we haven't had too many people posting injury reports this week. I wanted the kids with autism to come on here and post every injury report and every weather detail. Okay, I'm going to get Tony on 1 second. Okay, Tony Trill. I'm going to send that to you. In 1 second. Send questions in on YouTube. Send the questions in on YouTube. Luis Carino, thank you for subscribing on Patreon. Jonathan Weiser, I'm going to say it wrong. Weiser, thank you for subscribing on Patreon. Appreciate it. $5 a month. Link in the description. I don't know exactly when I'll be posting the bets this week. Just so you know, Saturday night at latest. I probably will be posting 2 tonight, and we're going to have to see how these injury reports work out. And plus, we got a longer week. We got 2 games Monday. We got 2 games Tuesday. So I'm not going to forget about you on Patreon after tonight. Don't worry. We'll get something in. There will be another teaser on Patreon. We hit the 3-team teaser last week. So pretty excited about this week, even though, man, there's been some turmoil. But I know a lot of people are complaining about the NFL moving games. And honestly, like, if I was a Raiders fan, I would feel pretty pissed off. Don't get me wrong. But I think it's better for what we do that they move the games back. Rams in Seattle was a game I was really ready to put on Patreon, even this morning. And then the news broke. So it's good they're buying some more time so I don't have to make a bet I don't believe in. Every bet on Patreon I believe in. Like, people, after we had that great Sunday, I had the Monday night game on the list that I posted on Friday. I got tons of messages saying, bro, you're still on the Rams. You're still on the Rams. Bro, if I put it on there, that bet's already placed. I take Patreon as serious as a heart attack, bro. It's not a joke for me, okay? Like, I'm not going out and getting a regular job. That ship has sailed, okay? Turned down $100,000 job before I came here. That's how invested I am in betting on this channel. I might as well just get a fucking face tattoo. I'm so invested. You know what I'm saying? I almost got it. I don't even like tattoos, but I almost got like a face tattoo just so I could never get back into like that 9-to-5 stuff. If you guys know what I'm saying, but face tattoos might be acceptable now, even for like corporate jobs. I mean, there's no standards anymore for anything. Here we go. All right, Tony, I sent you the link. All right. Okay, let me get to some questions. Okay, we got a lot of questions. I don't know if we're at 20, but from what I wrote, Rams got 16 out. No Names got 18 out. Browns got 18 out. Eagles might have some problems, but that's what I read. But they added a new rule, so it's going to be easier for guys to get off the list as long as they took the jab, if you understand. Trotters are pretty cool. Like I said, I like horse. I just don't want to see like the horses die, bro. Like I'm not even like big PETA guy or anything like that. I just don't like when the horses die. At least in NFL, like you sign the contract, you put yourself out there, they give you money. As a horse, what do they really give you besides grain and a few pats on the back? Rain final this week is a mess. Be cautious on the bets, and I hope everyone understood that. Like we're still going to make bets this week, and there's a good chance we make money this week. Nothing's really changed, but I'm going to be more cautious. And I've been telling you guys this whole week, like, I don't want to see the early bets this week. Some people got in Green Bay early. Like, yes, good. I like it. I have no problem with it. And there's games that are not affected with this. Like Pittsburgh, Tennessee doesn't seem to have too much effect. If you guys know what I'm saying. I'm going to read this. This is from Kyle. This Bengals game is interesting. I actually agree, man. This Bengals game is extremely interesting, and I thought we would have more talk about it tonight. I'd love to pound the money line, but has the Bengals play these past few weeks made you question it at Mile High? But Theodore Bridgewater, yeah. Listen, I watched the film 2 days ago of 49ers and Bengals, and I was actually encouraged with what I saw from the Bengals. Now, there's no moral victories in this league. There's no pats on the back that are going to make Bengals bettors last week feel better. I did pick San Fran to win last week, but we need to remember, the Bengals lost to the Chargers due to unforced errors. They were down 24-0. They made it 22-24. They were driving, and then Joe Mixon drops the ball when he wasn't even hit. He just fumbles it, returned for a touchdown, and then the game went bad. So I'm not off on the Bengals. And then the only thing I want to see is Joe Mixon playing because the Bengals need the run game. That's been a big problem with the Bengals last 3 or 4 weeks. The run game has stalled. They got a good offensive guard back, like I said earlier. If Joe Mixon plays, dude, they'll be able to do it, man. What's up, Tony? Dude, I like the fucking Scarface poster, dude.
Appreciate you, Lawson. What's good? How's your weekend? How's everything? Everything cool?
Dude, it's going good, man. What have you been up to?
Well, I had a little heart attack last night. I went all in Chiefs money line. I was thinking about the 3, but then I just thought if you're taking 3, you're just taking money line essentially. Like that, and the 3 didn't even come to play because it went to overtime anyways, and it was like the first to score.
Well, and also I wanted to bet the game, but it's just like eventually you felt like the Chiefs defense had a crack, and I want to show respect to Herbert, but dude, it's a good bet, man. And the +3 might have gave you, but it was -3 anyways, right? Yeah. So that wouldn't help you at all.
Right. Plus the 165 to me, usually when I see like -3 in a game, like between teams that are that good, sometimes like I saw a Tampa -190 against the Colts when they were like a 3-point favorite.
I hate people getting greedy, like especially if you're going like all in or you're making a bigger bet than normal. Like, don't get greedy about -160 to -125. Like that's right. When you get greedy, you get lazy, in my opinion.
That's why, like before every bet, I like to see the visual difference. I want to see what the spread is versus the money line, and then like I'll write it down and see the dollar difference, and like, is it worth it? You ask yourself, is it really worth that much money, that little point spread versus the money line?
Well, and can I tell you something that's worth it this week? And I did this a lot more last year on Patreon. I went lots of money line. There's a 5-week span where we just went Tampa Bay money line every week. Tampa Bay money line this week, it's only like -550. If you got a big bankroll, I'm not talking to people with the small bankrolls, and not even busting on you if you have a small bankroll. Like, build that shit up, and it takes a while to build up. But I mean, why not? If you got a big bankroll, I put 600 on it, for instance, and I don't think they're going to lose the game. Last time I did make a big bet like this, it was the Browns against Detroit, and my heart was in my mouth. But this is gambling.
Definitely, that's every week. I mean, all the stat like I remember I was on the show like a couple weeks ago, and like you can have all the stats and the projections and everything, but it's not going to depict the game like 100% accurately. It's just going to give you an idea of what you're going to get at least from them, from their production from past games. That's not going to like be the game. Like stats can only tell you so much and go so far. But I actually do have Tampa Bay in my play. It doesn't, this 3-team parlay, it's a little work in progress. You can add 2 more legs. Like someone in the comments said UFC. I actually got some UFC plays. But
who's the UFC play?
Okay, so it's on the prelims, I believe. I got 2 fighters, 6 fights total, but I got 2 that I love. 2 that like I would put in bets. The other 4, that's your own business. But these 2, I believe, will not lose. Mateus Gamrot, I think he's 180 or 2-1 against Diego Ferreira. And Ricky Simone, I think he's minus 280, nearly 3-1 against Rafael Assunção. I got both those for sure. And especially coming off of 269, where we had underdogs like Charlie, we had Pena, we're coming off a massive underdog card like 269. So I just feel like favorites close out the year a little bit.
Yeah, and also I can comment on Rafael Assunção. Like, dude, he hasn't been good for like 3 years. I think he's one of those guys who took too much punishment, and now his chin's away. So good luck, man. This
will be his first fight coming off the Cody Garbrandt knockout from a year and a half ago. So yeah, and he's 39. And bantamweight in these lower weight classes, the older you get, the more often hard it is. But enough about the UFC. That was just a little segue, just what I was thinking. But the 3-teamer, currently it's 100 to make 73, 75, but I think it wins. Miami against the Jets, money line. Tampa money line against the Saints, Cowboys money line against the Giants, and you can add whatever 2 legs you want after. But that 3-team.
What if the Giants actually do something? I like the first 2, and I'm fine with the Cowboys. But what if the Giants actually do something? Am I being the single mom who keeps thinking the guy's going to come back or?
No, I had Dolphins a couple weeks ago against the Giants, and it was a little more stressful than it should have been, to be honest, with Mike Glennon at quarterback. It was a little more stressful than it should have been, but I think the difference of the game is that I think Jake Fromm's going to get the start. He'll probably take care of the ball better than not Daniel Jones, Mike Glennon. He'll probably take care of the ball more, get less turnovers, but I just don't think Saquon's healthy, like at all. I don't think they got explosiveness in the run, and if they can't have that run pass balance, I feel like Miami's pass rush is going to tee off and create turnovers in the secondary.
And that's the problem, man. Look at how much money the Giants have invested the last 3 years in offensive line, and their offensive line still booty. And I'm not even coming on here to like make excuses for Daniel Jones because he's been trash. But it seems like every single week they got 3 wide receivers out, and the offensive line can't block. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's crazy, but their defense is actually turning out to be the better side of the football team. They got a nice front 7. Their secondary, when healthy, it's got Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Jabril Peppers. Their secondary is not bad. They got a little pass rush. It's just they're not healthy right now. I don't really think they got that push. Like, I really want to win this. I don't feel that from them. I feel like the Cowboys are actually looking at this as a time like we got to try to secure some home field advantage type wins. Like Cardinals just lost. I think Packers win, and I think Dallas is out of the 4 or the 3 seed. I forget which. I think it's Tampa that's ahead of them. Tampa and Dallas should win, in my opinion, this week. I just think they're facing less competition, straight up.
And here's the thing: Giants don't have a pass rush. They're really good at stopping the run, but we know the Cowboys. They're not committed to running the ball. They just want to slang it. On that Giant second there, they sit back in zone. Eventually, Dak's going to get hot. I mean, I agree with you there.
So yeah, that's just that 3-teamer. If you play it just as is, Miami money line, Dallas money line, Tampa money line, I believe 100 should make like 73, 75. You can add a leg of your own if you want. So that's just the 3-team money line. And a little 2-team teaser I was working on was Packers straight up, and I was thinking maybe Bengals plus 10, something like that.
Yeah, because I'll comment on the Bengals. I can't see the Bengals going out there and getting their ass kicked. Now, there is always a possibility in this league because we've seen a lot of teams not show up, and we can go into detail about that, but it's just a fact. We don't need to try to psychoanalyze it, but I just can't see the Bengals getting their ass whooped. Like, I could see the Bengals losing possibly, but I just can't see them losing by like more than a touchdown, especially with Teddy. Like, it comes in a factor, and the Cincinnati defense is better than people think. They're going to stop the run, and if you stop Denver's run, it's over for them.
Yes, definitely. And like you said, in Mile High, you need to have a balance. You need to have a run game because I think the simple misconception with Mile High is like everybody's assuming the altitude, you're gonna get drained, you can't make it throughout 4 full quarters, you just get fatigued. But if you run the ball and you punish their defense just as much as they're gonna try to run the ball on you, it becomes a neutral kind of playing field. Now it comes down to who's the better quarterback, and I'm gonna take Joe Burrow over Teddy Bridgewater or Drew Lock.
Especially because the Broncos, they move at a slow pace. They're very slow offense. Like everyone likes picking on the Steelers for being slow, or you can pick on the Bears and whatnot. But man, this Denver Broncos, they move at a snail's pace, and like you said, they don't use pace at all. I got to ask you a question because I know you try to watch all the teams. What do you think about Houston plus 3.5 at the Jags? For me, man, Jags got to win this. And I'm not even one to rally around them getting rid of Urban, but Davis Mills, and we got to see a boost to Trevor Lawrence's performance. He hasn't played a good game since that Miami game.
Right. Yeah, in London. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, early I would lean even with the whole media coming down on him and the whole Urban situation. I just feel like talent-wise, Jacksonville slightly better. They just got not even talent, just athletically, speed. I think they're faster. I think their pass rush could get to Davis Mills, and their secondary is not locked down enough. I know Marvin Jones drops passes, but I'd like to see like Jamal Agnew or like Tavon Austin, like one of their more faster receivers, getting some action, like some jet sweep or just something to mix it up in the play calling. But I feel like the better quarterback's Trevor in that matchup. So yeah.
Well, Jamal Agnew's probably their best receiver at this point, and that's like me. I don't even want to go crazy with it, but he's the only one who I would throw to over the middle if I didn't want to drop. Like, there's so many drops on that team; it's sickening.
Yeah, no, really, they get no separation, like you said. I think they were like bottom 3 in separation, and just no deep element. If they don't run the ball, it's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be really tough. They can't move the chains.
So you got PS4, right?
Yeah.
They never put in a thing where you can play cross-platform with someone, right? They never put that in.
So Madden, next gen, no. Like if you have Xbox One and like the Xbox Series X, I think you can crossplay, but for like PS4 and PS5, you can't.
See, that sucks, man, because they're exact same game. I could pick up a PS4 control and play Madden at the same level as an Xbox One control. But yeah, man, anyways, I guess I got to get the PS4, but the PS4's I've been trying to buy one, and listen, I can go out and buy it if I fucking want, but why am I going to pay like $380 for something that's old already?
That's true. I definitely agree with that. My whole thing is I just can't find a PS5, but even if I could, like, I'm not dying for it. There's no real game that's come out. Like, I'm pretty simple. I just like the sports games, and every year it's the same thing, but I'm fine.
Does it even make a difference at this point? Like you said, it's the same thing. Like, does it even make a difference at this point? I mean,
not really. But you could probably find a PS4 for cheaper than you would think. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you pay $380. But yeah.
Yeah, dude. And like all I play is sport games, so there's not really much for us to get lost in. I mean,
yeah, really. No, I got like 2K, I play Madden and UFC the most, I'd say. Those are my two
UFC 4 is the best game I've played in quite some time outside of Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. Dude, this UFC 4 is nasty, man.
Yeah, what's your favorite weight class?
Dude, I like going welterweight. I love fighting welterweight. And dude, that game is so nasty. I haven't even played with the heavyweights yet. Is it good playing with them?
They're like heavyweight and heavyweight's choppy. I think you'd prefer like the lower weight classes. You get more combinations off, and it's just more fluid movement. But like the heavyweights is like all power. All it takes is one good shot, and you're done. But yeah.
Yeah. Any last words?
Make sure to follow Lawson Bets NFL on Instagram. Subscribe, like his videos on YouTube. This man's the best gambling show on the internet.
Oh, appreciate it, Tony. You're flattering me, man.
I'm telling you, man, this is the guy to follow, man. This is the one.
Dude,
I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, come to Brazil, man. Come to Brazil, bro.
Yeah, bro. I put a little something on Charlie Olives. I had a feeling.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying, man. Like, I was just surprised, though, that Poirier got did like that. Poirier was throwing bombs in the first round, man.
Nobody expected Charles to have the savage in him to still go, like, in boxing range with Poirier. It was all that body work he did, destroy Poirier. The clinch, the knees, it was perfect game plan. Perfect game plan.
The Muay Thai clinch she does is ridiculous because
So
Poirier's strong as fuck, man. And to
Bro,
grab
yeah.
him by the neck like that, come on, dude.
Tie collar.
Like,
Tie collar. They had him like this, like just knee clinches and everything. And it was 96% of the shots Poirier took were all headshots. He didn't go to the body, no calf kicks, no nothing. He didn't mix it up. And in a weird way, I feel like Charles was tricking him to just throw it at his head because in that traditional Muay Thai stance, they don't really move their head. They have no like boxing's like moving your head. In that Muay Thai, they're like this, and he went all body.
no one in the UFC moves their head.
Really?
They love eating shots. Like Mike Perry's like the definition of a UFC fighter. And he just comes in like with his head out. Like
he's the one that should fight Jake Paul. Give Jake Paul a Mike Perry or a Nate Diaz, someone who's got nothing to lose. Type like give them one of those.
That's what I'm saying. Like
give
I'm not
someone
even
who got nothing to lose.
I'm not even into the second fight versus Woodley because Woodley's not going to go out there and swing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I expect him to take a dive. Probably get a little bag underneath. Nobody's looking.
Yeah, dude, Ben took that bag.
Right. He got paid more than the Masvidal knockout. He got paid more than the Askren potential knockout. Yeah, really.
That's his biggest payday ever, and I think he at least netted $2 million. So
right. Yeah,
and they paid him in Bitcoin, right? That's dope.
Yeah, it'll grow. The stock should definitely grow from that. Definitely.
All right, bro. Tony, I'll see you. Have a good night, man.
All of you, good luck. Have a good weekend. Peace.
See you, Tony. All right. Yeah. Okay. Why would the CIF Los Angeles City section create an open division? Don't you find that confusing? What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Can you explain to me, Daniel? Yeah, dude, Tony is really chill, man. Tony is really chill, man. He makes. Yeah, Mike, I have Xbox One. Let's get Mike. I want to get you on, man. Cause yeah, dude, I like getting you guys on. I think we'll go a little bit past 2 hours today. Yeah, let me get you on, dude. I gotta hear what you're thinking about the spread. I'm gonna just reply to an email. If you don't get it, let me know. I'll actually create a new one as well. Shit. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we go. Terry Walker on Jags -3. Yeah, dude. I went on and I saw before I came on the call-in show, I saw at like -4. I was kind of mad about it. Yeah, dude, they're gonna take that off, man. It's off the books everywhere. So we're gonna have to wait to do that. One of you send me a PS5 because I don't got the time to go look for it, buy it on eBay, get it shipped here, all that stuff. Like I wanted to get one, but I'm just like, okay, I have the money, but do I have the time? And do I really want to wait in line to get something like that? Working on the studio, dude. Working on the studio. Work in progress. I keep saying it's going to be next week, but every week I have a ton of stuff to do. But yeah, dude, the new studio would help. Some people, they just like appearance. Some people like aesthetics. They don't care how many bets I win. They just want it to look nice in the background. Chang Kim, Bovada took my money hostage. I'm not surprised, man. I did a video complaining about them, and some people thought it was just me like beating my chest and trying to prove how good a gambler I was. No, I only won like 4 or 5 G's off of them in like a 3-month period, and they banned me. So, and that's the problem with Vegas books, bro. They're all owned by the same 2 or 3 corporations now. For instance, the only book that will take Dana White's bets is the Palms because he actually wins. They only like losers. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Are they actually in stock though, Mike? Are they actually in stock? Because I tried to order one 3 months ago and they were selling for like $1,000 on Amazon. I could do so much with $1,000 in Brazil. It just doesn't make mathematical sense. Like if they're going to sell me one at a normal price, I'm going to take it. Mike, let me just read the super chat, then I'm going to get you on. Are we fair in Carolina to upset Buffalo this week at all, or is Buffalo money line in a parlay good? Buffalo money line in a parlay should be good, but we're getting the right man on right now.
There we go.
That question had some good fucking timing, man.
I know, right?
That's good, man.
But,
what's up? Mike?
I do not think the Panthers are going to win this at all. If you look at the matchups for this game, like this has all the makings for a Panthers win. It's kind of like the Cardinals game. We knew like that they could get pressure on the edges. We knew they could run the ball on them. But the main thing you're betting on this game is like, are the Panthers even going to show up? Because the defense the last couple of weeks has been completely AWOL, and they were one of the top units like in the league for the first like 2 months of the season. So you're really just betting on that. In addition to that, I don't know if you've heard about the Matt Barkley incident with COVID and the issues we're having with that.
I didn't hear about that.
Matt Barkley, one of our quarterbacks, tested positive for COVID. And there's talk that they're looking at the other quarterbacks, Cam and PJ, and testing them too. So there's a chance, like if they test positive, or if something BSy happens, like with what happened with the Broncos last year, that we may not even have PJ or Cam, and we'll have to roll with like our third string running back to be our quarterback.
Yeah, so. And it's not fair, man, because look at what they did to Denver last year. But Cleveland, they get to move their game to Monday, and they're moving the Rams game to Tuesday. Like just something doesn't add up. And they will do something like that to the Panthers, because one thing those Gruden emails proved, and that whole situation, it proved that like the NFL has favorites. And just look into that, like it's crazy, man.
Yeah, decide just screw someone over for no reason. But
yeah, but here's Panthers, the thing. Oh yeah, go on.
They're not, I know these things. They're not big. They're not a marquee team. Like no one's gonna be sad if the Panthers get screwed over, besides us. So I wouldn't put it past the league to do that to us.
But they can't do that after the precedent they set this week. They can't. But yet they did it to Denver last year. So I don't.
And they're screwing the Eagles over by putting that game on Tuesday, because, the Eagles, they're all good. Washington's got like 20 players on that COVID list, but the Eagles are good to go. And if you're the Eagles, you're going to beat Washington, and you're still fighting for your season, and you have to play the Giants in 4 days, who beat you the first time. You're really putting the Eagles in a bad position there. And that's messed up on the NFL's part.
The No-Names were one of the teams who had an inside channel to Goodell's right-hand man. Not trying to go conspiratorial, but yeah, the Eagles really got screwed on that, because they don't even have any issues, like you said. Like back to the Carolina Bills game.
Yeah,
like
sorry.
The 10. Yeah, no, you're good. Like that 10 is bothering me, because I don't think the Bills are going to go win that game easy. But like you said, Carolina is so bad, and they come in so unprepared for games, you can't bet it. But I don't think the Bills are rolling in this game. Let's get your opinion on the spread, man.
Yeah, like I said, the Bills, the Panthers match up very well with the Bills. The Bills like to throw the ball. The weakness on this Panthers defense is they don't stop the run too well. They have weak edges. So if you run it on the edge against Reddick and Burns, who are great pass rushers, but they're not big dudes who can stop the run. So if you can run on them on the edge, then you should have success there, and you'll keep the Panthers defense in the 3rd and 4s, the 3rd and 5s, areas where they're not going to be able to blitz everyone and have success. So that's what you have to do, and the Bills don't really do that. On the other side of the ball, to beat the Bills, you have to run the ball. And, that should be something we should be expecting the Panthers to do. That's what they've said they want to do. But the problem is they just don't do it. So, you're really it wouldn't surprise me if they came out and threw the ball 35 times, tried to throw it on them, and then it just didn't work and it blew up in their face, because that's the kind of thing Matt Rule would do. So
Panthers have to run it. And they did it like the first drive against Atlanta. They get a touchdown. I think it got called back. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they
anyways.
Scored.
They did.
They scored on the first drive, and then they got away from everything they did on that first drive.
Yeah, and then we don't need to go into Matt Rule like putting Walker in for the 2-minute drill. Like
to have him run a quarterback power. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And just let me answer this one. I live in Minnesota. Since you're a Vikings fan, you in Minnesota. No, my dad was a Vikings fan, so that's how I became a Vikings fan. Yeah, man. And the thing about the Panthers is the one way they exploit them and the one way they get beat on defense is teams pound them. And the Bills aren't going to pound anyone. So you would think, like you said, it's a good matchup for the Panthers. There's always one colossal upset every week in the NFL. I'm not saying it's going to be this one because the Panthers are at an all-time low, but honestly, they should be in this game. They should cover the 10 points. Not saying they will.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this is the exact same setup as like the Panthers versus Cardinals game where the Cardinals were like 13, 12-point favorites over the Panthers to start, and then the Panthers just blew them out. Like, it's that exact same matchup. I think one of the Bills' tackles is out too, so that should help as well. You know, Reddick and Burns should be licking their chops at the chance to get after Josh Allen this game. And they actually, another thing too, like they actually have the speed to keep up with him when he tries to go outside the pocket. Like that was something the Bucs really struggled with, and I think the Panthers should be able to contain that if they actually account for it. Yeah,
and if they actually come in and play good, and then what do you think of this Patriots-Colts game, man?
That's a toss-up. I mean, they're two teams that really try to do the same thing. I saw Damian Harris is out with COVID, so that's going to hurt the Patriots too. So I don't watch either of those teams enough to really have a strong feeling about this game. But I'm with you right now with the Colts. So
yeah, and eventually the Patriots have to lose a game. Eventually,
You'd think so.
Right?
You'd think so. And they're also coming off a bye week, which who knows how that's going to affect them. So.
Yeah, and then like any other games you got to read on this week?
Yeah, Saints versus Bucs. I think it's like 10 points right now for the Bucs right now favored. Bet the Bucs because
let's check
Saints.
That.
I think it's something like that. It might have gone up to like 17 with Sean Payton out.
It's 11. It's minus 11, but okay. I think it's good money. But go on.
Yeah, because like I mean the Saints without Sean Payton. You know, that's like your army losing Robert E. Lee. You know, you have you don't have any weapons. You're not going to be able to match up with Tampa Bay blow for blow. But if you're on the Saints, you can at least know that you're going to have a chance because you're going to have Sean Payton who's going to come in and, scheme magic for you to keep you in the game. And without him, you're not just losing your head coach, you're losing your offensive play caller. And you know how good of a play caller he is. Like, he schemes, he's always thinking 4 plays ahead. And, when you lose that experience, you lose that ability to, scheme up drives and scheme up plays down the field for later in the game. So without him, I don't like the Saints to cover this game at all. They don't have any – it's a really bad matchup on paper for the Saints, obviously. So I'm thinking this is going to be a blowout.
Well, and also, okay, I got respect for Taysom Hill, but let's be honest. He's really, really bad. And whenever you have like a gadget quarterback like a Tim Tebow, like a Joe Webb, if anyone remembers him, they're good for the initial burst, like the first 2-3 games. And then once you scheme for him, it's kind of over. And Taysom Hill really hasn't even had like a big game where he had a spark. What did he have? That hurdle against Dallas? That's been like the whole season. That's been the whole contract. I still don't understand the contract. But Taysom Hill is so bad. That's why I would go that way. The Bucs, we know their attitude. They could easily not cover this, but I just don't see Taysom Hill doing anything. And it's hard to do it if you can't complete a pass, man.
And another factor, too, like Taysom Hill can't even stat pad. So if you're worried about the Saints getting garbage time, between Taysom Hill throwing punts up and these Saints receivers not catching the ball, you'd think that's garbage time shouldn't be too much of an issue if you're betting on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and also I think Tampa Bay they're getting better. Like that Bills thing, what happened last week, but they still ended up winning the game. And like you sent me a message on Instagram. Yeah, and you sent me a message on Instagram like, listen. With Tampa Bay, it's good to bet them because you're going to get the rub of the coin. If there's a 50-50 call, it's going your way. Hell, if there's an 80-20 call favored to the other team, you might get it. And that's just how it is, man. And I don't want to complain about it. That's something we should all know at this point.
Yeah, I mean, after the Bills got in field goal range, there was like 3 or 4 just monumental calls or no calls that really, really, really helped the Bucs get that game. It's a good thing the Bucs scored on the long touchdown, because I don't know what else would have transpired if they hadn't, but you might have seen some ridiculous things to give the Bucs that win, because the refs really helped them at the end of that game.
And let's talk about this one. I didn't want to talk you out of it. Like Bills, Rev, I know you bet big on these like teaser/parlays, so I understand why. But no, dude, Arizona's going to win that game. There's no way they're losing to Detroit. That Detroit like Cinderella story, that slipper's been churned in, or what was it, like a stiletto or whatever? That's been churned in a long time ago, bro. Like, yeah, like
they're also losing their two. They're also without Swift and Hawkinson, so that's like your only 2 good offensive players.
That's the only 2 good players on the team.
Exactly, like that's the entire Lions offense. So you don't really. You're betting on Jared Goff to go carry this train to victory if you're betting on the Lions. So yeah, I wouldn't touch that game at all.
Yeah, and honestly, like that Arizona, like the money line's like -750, -700.
Oh
that's probably a little bit too much for my blood, but that kind of says it all.
Yeah,
it is the NFL, but
that's gonna be a blowout. The only I guess if you're really, really, really trying to look for a path to victory for Detroit, you just have to hope that Dan Campbell like goes wildcat for the whole game or something like that. Something just to run the ball down their throat, something creative that's going to throw the Cardinals off guard, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah, and like honestly, I don't like Arizona on the road -13.5. I don't care who they're playing. I don't like spreads like that, but I was actually tempted to bet Arizona -13.5. So that's where we're at with Lions. And honestly, Lions at this point, like I don't advocate taking or anything like that. You should go out there, compete, and this is a physical game, so it's really hard to tank. Like even the Texans, you saw last week, they actually played pretty decent.
Davis Mills look good.
Yeah, no, I was surprised. But it's hard to tank in this league. But if any team should be doing it, it should be Detroit.
Yes. And
not
I
like
do
there's
wonder,
any quarterbacks to draft.
Yeah, I do wonder if they've mentally packed it in too. Like they got their win. They're not gonna have to be on the team that didn't get a win. Like, what else are you playing for at this point if you're on the Lions? And we saw they didn't even show up against the Broncos.
Yeah. Any other games you're looking at? What do you think about Broncos and Bengals?
Oh, geez.
Why have we seen this late line movement? Because
here's the thing, the Bengals on their best day are monumentally better than the Broncos. But the thing is, you don't know if the Bengals are going to show up and play their best game. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they're pretty good about not letting themselves get trapped. They're pretty good about not, laying an egg. They'll play to their talent level, but that's pretty much it. I don't think they've upset anybody this entire year for the most part. They always play to the level that they're expected to. So I think the Bengals should win this. Like you talked about earlier, the big key is they need to run the ball. They need to keep this Denver offense on the field. They need to gas them out and not get pass happy against that pass rush in that secondary. So,
yeah, and there's not much. And people want us to talk about Cleveland. There's not much to talk about. The line doesn't exist at this point. Listen, man, you're 100% right about the Bengals. And the thing that's really annoying me about the Bengals, okay, there's forced errors in this league and there's unforced errors. I think the Bengals might commit the most unforced errors in this league. I'm not even talking about penalties. I'm just talking about turnovers. They've been so sloppy the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's really been bothering me. And that's the only way they can
They're
lose
the best
this game.
good team that does it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've seen some stuff out of the Jaguars and the Panthers and the Lions this year that would definitely challenge that title.
Oh, I've seen some stuff out of the Vikings too. Yeah, I do.
Oh, yes, you have.
The Panthers might be the sloppiest team in this league.
Oh,
I know.
We're leading the charge in penalties. We're top 5 in drops. Last week PJ Walker rolled out and just threw a punt into triple coverage. It was, I think there were 3 defenders closer to the ball than the nearest receiver. Dude, they're so bad. It's this kind of crap that makes me want to fire Rule. Like we talked about the other day. It's hard to defend this stuff.
Well, dude, did not practicing 2-minute drills in practice was maybe one of the most concerning things. Like, people get concerned about Urban Meyer yelling at people. No, I'm concerned about a professional sports franchise in the NFL not practicing 2-minute drills when 6-year-old kids in Florida are practicing it right now and running it.
Dude, for anyone, I don't know, like, I mean, people may not know about that, but basically Teddy came out during the offseason and said that, like, the Panthers under Matt Rule and Joe Brady didn't practice the 2-minute drill enough. And if you look at the like, at first, at the time, this was right after Teddy had a really bad year with us, so everyone just kind of killed him for it. But, you know, looking at it now, like, Teddy might have been trying to warn us, because the Panthers are 0-13 in one-score games where they've had a chance to win under Matt Rule. So,
yeah, I think we're seeing Cam, though, but I don't know what's going on there.
We may not see either of them if this COVID stuff breaks out in the quarterback room, but
just be careful. Be careful. Okay, this game, last game, I'm going to go take a shower after this. Pittsburgh and Tennessee. Listen, I really like Tennessee. I haven't looked at the injury report yet. No one's really came on and posted anything, but I was surprised. Like, didn't this start at -2? We're at a pick 'em now, so you can't even say an upset.
Yeah, I'm, you know, I mean, I wish the Titans were favored like they were initially, but, you know, I have good reasoning to roll off the Steelers here, I think, because I don't see the Titans breaking the doors off the Steelers early on. And if you keep the Steelers around in a close game, like, Big Ben's going to pull that out in the fourth quarter. Last week, he was perfect against the Vikings last week in the second half, I thought. That was one of the better second halves I've seen from the quarterback position in quite some time. So, like, I know I'm a Panthers fan, but I thought Ben looked fantastic. So I think if you're Pittsburgh, if you can get this game, you know, into the fourth quarter, like 17-10, you're down. Like, I think the Steelers got a chance to pull that out. So,
well, the Titans are always due for a choke. I'm nervous about. I'm just going with Pittsburgh's overall roster here. I'm really concerned about it. And Big Ben's taking a lot of the flack for it. And him and Mike Tomlin take flack for stuff they have no control over. Like, this roster's really bad. Like, dude, I'm not saying it's Jets tier, but come on, bro.
Like, did you watch I'm not talking to you, but did people watch the last Steelers game? Like, in the first half, Big Ben wasn't even playing that bad, but his receivers, Deontay Johnson had about 4 or 5 drops in that first half alone that just ultimately killed drives. And they consistently do stuff like that. And that O-line, you know why the Steelers actually started coming back in that game? Was because the line actually started blocking for him once the Vikings got gassed. So, like, I mean, he really doesn't have help. He's not that bad. Like, I would probably say, heck, I'd take him over any quarterback on the Panthers right now. He's probably at least a top 25 quarterback. So I think if you, like we've been talking about, if you just get this game in the fourth quarter, I think you got a shot to win it.
He's going to get a starting job next year if he wants to play, and he needs to get out of there. And that's one thing, like, I don't get. Just because the Steelers have been good pretty much nonstop since 1970s, it doesn't mean that this roster hasn't been completely gutted. Like, it's not 2018 anymore. Like, this thing has been chopped down numerous times. And when was the last time they had a good draft? Like, I mean, we know they got they got Najee Harris this year, but outside of that, like, what they got, and I can't remember.
They've had a lot of decent picks, and they've also, if I remember correctly, they've also not been good. They've also not been on the right side of the cap lately, too. Like, it just seems to me they went all in that stretch where they had, like, Bell, Brown, and Ben all playing at, like, an all-pro level. And then after they all left or, like, got hurt or got old, it just seems they didn't really have a contingency plan to what to do afterward.
Well, and I felt like the team was even overrated, especially the last 2 years of that experiment. You were probably watching all the way back then. I always felt like they were a little bit overrated. And then once that offensive line got gutted, that's when the team just completely fell. Like,
it was like once they lost Le'Veon Bell in that run game, and once they had to meet New England in the playoffs, it was it. And they even lost to Jacksonville when they were actually good. Like, they even lost to them that one year, and after that, they've kind of just fallen off since.
Dude, and I've been thinking this same thing about Big Ben the whole year. Like, people are acting like it's like Eli Manning's last year with the Giants when it's not even close. And, like, I know you can just look at the stats and they don't look good, but he actually can get hot. And not a lot of quarterbacks in this league can get hot. Like, okay, the top 10 guys, they can get hot at any time. Outside of that, like, who can really get hot and get on the heat? heat shocks. Like Big Ben's a beast, man.
And he's been clutch too. Like he has years worth of experience running like with game-winning drives. Like he knows how to show up in the fourth quarter of these games.
Monday Night Football. I'm going to go after this. You got to read on the Vikings, man. The Vikings are like -6 now. Isn't this getting a little bit ridiculous?
Yeah. Okay, look, I don't mean to do this to you, but you know, whenever like when you see a big point spread with a team like the Vikings who consistently keep teams in games, you have to take it, right?
You have to take Bears. We've been having to take the Bears the whole year, and it's not a team. People think I think the Bears are good. No, but like +6 in Soldier Field against a team that can't get out of its own way. It's just even though the defense might be on vacation, the Bears defense, they haven't showed up in the last 3 weeks. And I know it was Aaron game Rodgers last week, but come on, bro.
Yeah, if they didn't do enough against him, especially like what would they give like 40 points after the second quarter? Like they completely crapped the bed in that game. But you know, about the Vikings, like they have, if you look at like talent for talent, matchup for matchup, there's nothing that should keep them by winning for any less than 6 points. But they just continually let teams hang around in the fourth quarter, and even against bad teams, that's going to kill you. So I mean, as long as what they've played like 12 one-score games now, like as long as that stat exists, I'm gonna, and I don't mean to get statistical with you, but that's just one where I see and it's -6. I have to take the Vikings there or the Bears there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if this Bears defense, if they show up, they could do it easily, because one thing about the Bears, they always stay on the run fence. Okay,
yes.
And although last week they got pounded by Dylan, but that's a different story. I don't know how much they were into that game. I was really disappointed too, because with them getting the special teams points, you would think, okay, this could be an upset. They're going to test Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers ends up winning easy.
Especially on Sunday night. You don't want to pull that on primetime, which was like another, like, you know, going in this game, that was another factor I was thinking of. But then, you know, they just pooped the bed this last Sunday. So, yeah, if they show up, I think they'll cover.
All right, Mike, have a great weekend. Hit that like button, share the video. Make sure you pound that like button before you leave. Appreciate you coming on, Mike. Let's get this money. I got to go take a shower.
Yep. See you, man. Thanks for having me.
See you, Mike. Yo, thank you for coming on, man.
Bye. Yep.